Not that way. They say the same thing about us out here.
He said, there's oh, you know, referring.
Yeah.
I think so. She said sometimes because
That must be Tom Jones.
yeah, his comes up narrative.
Yeah, weird.
Depends on where you got your phone way back. Mine does that too.
So I see. We have Kevin.
Not yet.
Yes.
He's got a
There
minute.
it is.
There.
Yep.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock and all our people are here, so I think we can get started. I'm Sue Bassage. I'm sitting in for Tom Johns tonight. Steve Nespor, Mark Ketchum, Lynn Carlisle, Linda Youngman's our secretary. The applications have all been advertised and neighbors notified. We have a quorum, so we'll go ahead. Maybe we should start with you, Frank, in case you have to get out of here. You want to tell us what you want to do, why you want to do it?
Just trying to build a taller exterior fence on the facing Macy Street. Just due to multiple conflicts with, we have neighbors, little kids, they ride their bicycles, they like to come up to the fence swinging sticks. They ride ATVs, a bunch of distractors for the dogs that, you know, can make them more aggressive and not comprehending the ability of the dogs. Or obviously with my partner is trained to bite and stuff like that. Certain things are more agitating. I'm just trying to build a solid fence across that perimeter. Just a small section coming back on the corner, just to
Stop that,
you know,
yeah.
just kind of prevent that extra security measure, just kind of for the kids' safety. And also, I'm sure the neighbors would appreciate a little less barking in their houses.
And you don't feel like you need to go down the side where the woods are?
Not at this point. We're definitely going to look into that. You know, but we figured we start with this, because this is where most of the attention is getting drawn to. The dogs are all going to this fence because of all these exciting things facing this side, and we'll start over there, and you know, maybe like next season work on the back side.
The public comment. Anybody online would like to ask Mr. Donato anything? Speak up.
So do you want to talk about what the variance is?
Sure. It's a 6-foot fence. It's white solid privacy fence.
He's meeting a variance because it's 2 feet higher than the road.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Okay. The permitted size for the fence is 4 feet, and Frank's asking for a 6-foot fence. 24 feet down Centel and 82 feet across on Macy, and then just a little corner 8-foot part. And
the other stipulation to it too is there's the 50-foot triangle rule, because it's corner lot clearance. Nothing over 2.5 feet. I did check with highway. The highway department gave us in writing the approval for that. And planning's suggestion was just to make sure, because they weren't sure if the other fence was on the property line. They just wanted to ensure if anything gets approved that it goes on his property and not the village right away. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, that's fine. So you have a survey, you'll be able to figure that out. Yeah. Anybody in the audience have anything to say?
I think it's admirable that he's trying to put a fire out before the fire is a fire. You know, before some child gets bit or somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. Steve, anything?
No, I don't have anything with it.
Mark?
They can't jump over it?
Well, they can, the 4 foot easily.
I mean, the 6 foot.
6 foot is gonna be a little more effort, you know, they'd have to really wanna go over the working dog is, they're capable of jumping. She's not, if she can't see what's over on that side, it's gonna be less tempting.
Yeah, no, I don't have any problem with it. You and I looked at it. And, everything looks great.
I move we accept it as presented.
I second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed? Okay, you're good to go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Harley, you're gonna talk about your application? You'll need to unmute yourself. Maybe I need to unmute you.
No, you're okay. Mike Collins is going to speak about it because he is going to be putting in the fence.
And this is the same sort of, not with the dog, but the same sort of situation. 4 foot fence would be allowed, and there's a lot of what you want to do that's 6 feet. So that's why.
Yes, that's why it's here. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I don't.
Yep.
Are we still there? Okay.
Yep, you're good, Mike.
Hello, everyone. We went to the planning board first, obviously, and we got some feedback on it, and they were willing to compromise going halfway down both sides of the property at 8 feet, allowing the variance. And I had a few questions for them regarding if they're going to allow us to go halfway down the property. What's the difference between going halfway and all the way, I guess, would be my question.
6 foot, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
specifically, yeah, what he's saying is, and I can show what planning board had wanted real quick. I'll take host and just show so you guys know. Share screen. This is what was discussed at planning. If you can see, Mr. Costage had asked that in front of, can you guys see this?
Yeah.
He just asked that in front of the building line, so this is the front building line, anything beyond this, he was suggesting, because the planning can only recommend that it be 4 foot, and everything beyond, they were recommending 6 foot. So at that front building line, he was recommending 4 foot, just for clarity. And the rest was they're recommending 6.
And what's the reason for that?
For their recommendation?
Mm.
The reason the planning recommended it was they were afraid that, Linda, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the discussion was over setting a precedence of 6 foot fence in the front yard.
For view of the water, they were thinking it might be an obstruction for other properties nearby to be able to see the bay.
I would have to say that that would be the east side. It runs along where the park is, and it's just a wooded area. There's not really much opportunity for a view of the bay from that side. And one of the reasons was for privacy and, to keep kids from coming out. There's been kids up there walking through the property and throwing garbage, and the hill there isn't in the best condition and needs a lot of work, and just kind of wanted to close it in. It's a unique situation, at least on that side. And then the other side, it would break up in between the driveway and then run the rest of the way down to the property line.
I'm okay with the 6 foot all the way around.
Yeah, I don't really see that there's a view
We didn't see much of a view either way,
for anybody.
and I can understand why you'd want that on the west side. It's a mess.
It was just an old trailer and a.
Well, I think they were offering it as a compromise because within the village, they're mostly are only approving 4-foot fences as the highest. So they thought 4 foot where it would obstruct the bay and 6 foot for the other parts of that. I think that was their reasoning.
I don't think it really obstructs the view on the west side either.
No.
And the reason I was concerned with their recommendation is I think it would look kind of funny to have a 4-foot fence going up to a 6-foot fence. That was my concern, the look of it.
Well, there are places where we've had somebody put a 4-foot fence in the section closer to the road.
Yeah.
And then it goes up to 6 feet. And I don't think that's a big deal, but.
Can I ask what the point is of the 4-foot fence?
Yeah, I was gonna ask what the section that's 4 is for.
Because that's not the outside property line, that's internal. So what are you trying to do in that kind of rectangle to the west with the 4 feet?
Well, I'm not sure. We wanted to go 6 feet all the way down.
No, Mike, I think let me show you the spot they're talking about. I'm going to show you
Along the driveway and then
over along the driveway. Yeah, that's a 4-foot aluminum fence.
This 4 foot here along the shed.
Right.
From
Right.
the shed, this interior.
So what are you trying to do with that 4-foot fence?
We were going to go from the shed over to the driveway and then up to the garage and just have an area for the dogs to run around in.
There you go.
Okay.
That's
That's what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. For the dogs.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if it's gonna block anyone's view, it's gonna block their
Their
view.
own, yeah.
So we were there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, I went during the snow.
Right.
Sign up. I think the only view that they're gonna block is their own,
Yeah.
Right.
and if people wanna do that, that's okay. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we accept
Wait,
this.
we need a.
Oh, we gotta, yeah, that's right.
Anybody on Zoom that would like to make a comment? Anybody in the audience that would like to make a comment? Okay, then.
I make a motion that we accept the variance as requested. That would be the 6 foot all the way around and then 4 foot on the internal.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, nobody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Have a great night.
You too.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, Last but not least,
Not least.
Eugene Hode. He's asking for a 16 by 36 pole barn. It would be 2 feet from the west property line when 5 is required. So what do you got to say?
I've requested this, I was asked by the planning board to get, letters of recommendations from both of my neighbors, in which I have, and I believe Kevin has gotten those. Both of my neighbors are on board. We've got a great neighbor rapport on east, great neighbor rapport on west. And I think if you folks had read my letters of recommendation from them, you will agree. I currently have a shed up front in which I received a variance for that, and that is only, I have a copy of the survey, 1.9 feet off the property line. I am proposing to build this new garage 2 feet off of the property line, a little bit further off of the property line than the shed is. The shed will be removed. I've got the good graces of my neighbor to the west that I would need the variance from to do so. At the planning board meeting, I was asked to get those letters of recommendation if possible, so that they could be here for you folks, and I believe we've done that. I was also asked to get copy or of the material that I would like to use and the color even I was requested. And I did the best I could with a cell phone picture and then printed, and I'm looking to, it's gonna be, I don't know if you can see, you can pass it around if you want. The colors are terrible, but what it is the light color up above is the ash, and the dark color is the charcoal. Okay, and so it's gonna be a very, very appealing building. If anybody knows me, they know if there's a fussier guy, I wanna know. I wanna meet him. I would never build anything. I want this thing to look like it grew there. And I'm as fussy character as there is, I guess.
Oh, yes.
And keep in mind those colors on that copy are horrible. But yeah. And I think I've, would you care to see this?
No, it's okay.
So I've got a layout of the barn, if you folks would like to see that, if you don't have it already.
It's a pole barn garage, huh?
Garage, yeah. Yeah, I just want to keep the birds from decorating my car as it sits in the driveway. It's just purely for storage, and that's my purpose of having it. We'd like to spend more time out in Sodus Point because we're getting closer to retirement years, and we don't have much storage. I can't go up with the cottage and I can't go wider, so build a nice little garage and call it good.
How will you be able to drive, or maybe you won't do it anymore? You won't be able to get a car past the
Garage
barn, right?
Well,
without going on to Karazinski's.
Yes, because I had changed my layout of the barn. It was a suggestion to me at planning board, and I like it. I had thought about it. I'm going to have an overhead door on each end of the barn. I'm going to have a 12-foot overhead garage door facing the road, and then a 9-foot overhead door on the back, so I'd be able to drive right through the garage, right up, if we choose to park
up close to
the house. We don't have to, but there might be a time. And that overhead door on the back side, on the south side of the garage, I would say, would be nice just to have open. My neighbors to the east, Karazinski's, they have the same thing, an overhead door on each end. And Mrs. Karazinski, Nancy, she opens up that back overhead door to the south, and she sits there, and that's where she does her crafts. And whatnot, and, I just think it would be nice.
And how
And
about,
the other, changes that I have made is I originally had 2 windows facing the west. I'm omitting those, so there'll be no windows facing the west.
how about, fire? Can a fire truck still get to your house?
Absolutely, either side. There's still a room between, would be the edge of my garage and the Karazinski driveway. Plenty of room for an ambulance or a fire vehicle to get back there. And also my neighbor Monica Mina's on the west side. You could get a vehicle or a fire apparatus or ambulance back there.
Have we allowed 2 feet before? I can't remember.
We didn't for Daryl. Remember, Daryl wanted to be up against, close to that back fence
Okay.
that we,
See, the problem we have is the zoning laws, or whatever you want to call them. One thing is, it's supposed to be a hardship for some reason. State of hardship, and then I guess it's 5 feet on each side, right?
In that section of town? I think it is, right?
5 feet.
5 foot, Kevin told me, is
Yeah,
the setback.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm asking for this is because I want to build a kind of a normal sized garage on my own property, but I would just need the variance for that.
Right.
I do have the variance, I did before my shed, but I understand, I realize the shed is not a permanent structure.
Mm-hmm.
And the shed is right up close to the road where it wouldn't be.
Yeah, the shed, if you're walking on a foot and it's a 12-foot or 15-foot shed, that's one thing, but a 36-foot building,
right,
that you've only got 2 feet to walk on, you can't. It's good that you canceled the windows because you wouldn't be able to wash them without being on your neighbor's lawn or neighbor's driveway. And yes, right now your neighbors, everybody's all happy, but when Monica sells her place, when Karazinski sell their place, now Karazinski's, the new people put up fence. Monica's people put in a garden. You know,
I still have.
We have to look down the road.
I still have 5 feet on the east side, on the Karazinski side. Come on, back that up. Yeah. Do I have to readjust it?
Perfect.
Yeah,
right there. There, now
you can spin it around and Karen can get.
Want to see Mark?
Yeah, I'm good.
right there. Are we good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I'm staying up.
So it sets a precedent that we have a hard time with.
That makes it tough.
I just got to ask the question. I know lots of people have their decks are built right on the property line. How is that different? Their decks, which are attached to their homes, come right to the property line. I mean, not even 1 inch, right on the property line. How is that?
Deck versus pole barn.
Okay, well, all right. I had to ask the question.
Sure.
Yeah, patios, you don't even need a setback, right?
So you have 5 on one side, 2 on the other.
Yes.
6.
6.
62.
6.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
you
he's
got
got that.
Would it make you feel better if we did 4 and 4?
Make it tougher for the fire truck to get down there.
mean, I just don't really want to compromise, I don't want to compromise the size of the barn that I want to build. I want you to know a whole lot of thought has been put into this. I don't want to, I would never build anything. Any of you that may know me would know that I put a lot of thought in this. I'm not trying to stuff something in there that's so big that it's going to look stupid.
Right.
It's not going to look stupid. It's going to look right. But you can't go by that. I get that.
Well, that's why I'm not saying change the dimensions of the barn, but if we went 4 feet and 4 feet, that would be a variance of 1 foot on both sides.
Mhm.
Make it easier to try it in.
And then the precedent isn't so huge.
Mhm.
Can you do that?
Could I do 3 feet and 1 feet?
No.
No.
4 feet, 4 feet. Because you've got 6 on one side,
Correct.
2 on the other.
Right.
So that's 8.
So we got 8 to play with.
Split that in 2. And if you need a 5 foot setback, then you're only asking for a 1 foot setback on each side.
I can't actually, I can't do that though, because I'd have to re-advertise.
Yeah, we have to have another meeting here.
Yeah, you'd have to have, so you could do a variance, a lesser variance. You can go all the way to 5 feet on the other side and do 3. And you guys feel free to do whatever you want. If you want me to advertise, I will. I just can't spring a variance on the neighbor who we already got approval from without them knowing.
Or if you've,
3 and 5,
yeah.
so we
3
don't
and
have to
5,
get
or
the
you-
variance on the one side.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it on the one that was 6.1, because now it's 5.1.
I wouldn't need it for the 5 foot side.
And then we're giving,
Yeah, if you made that 5.
and then we're only going to 3. We're going to 3 feet instead of 2 on the other line.
Or if the garage isn't 16 feet wide, if the garage is 14 feet wide.
But I don't want to really compromise the size of the garage that I want to build.
No.
And I realize I've only got X amount of, this thing moved again, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I realize I've only got X amount of land, so I can't put 10 pounds of sugar in a 5 pound bag. Is that where you want it? Huh?
A little more this time. A little more.
Well, there's several things we can do. If you guys are comfortable with the 3 to 5, we can do that. You want to re-advertise it, which would mean we wouldn't be able to start for another 2 weeks. We could do 4 and 4, whenever people are comfortable.
I think the 3 and 5 is a good idea.
I like the 3 and 5.
Yeah, 3 at least gives you room
Just
to
don't
walk on your own land.
Yep.
There's still gonna be a driveway
What do you think there?
on each side for fire
That
access.
means
His driveway, but it could be some.
she keeps buying shoes. That's why I gotta build a garage.
Yeah.
No more room to store shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
What that means is 3 foot between the side of our new proposed garage and Monica's garden there, if you will, for landscaping. And then that puts the building 1 foot further for a 10 side. Can live with that.
Kevin, you're confident that that 6 foot is really 6 foot over there?
Are you saying on his survey map?
Yeah.
I can double check, but if you guys make him, I'm gonna pull open his application real quick. If you make a motion, that's got to be 3 and 6, and we come back and find out that it's like 5.5. But let me check what I sent you.
It says 6'1".
It would be 3 and 5.
3 and 5. As long as it's at least 5 on that side.
Okay, give me 1 sec to pull this open, and I'll answer.
We will be over there with our rulers.
And that's fine. I don't want to do one thing that's not, I don't want to do one thing that's going to jeopardize code. and what is right.
But it's more precedent that we run into.
Right, I see that.
Yeah.
You can't do for one and not for the other. I get it. The only other stipulation that my neighbor to the west, Monica Mina, has, as I originally had the building being a little bit further away from the road, which put the building a little closer to my cottage. And it was her wish that it
Get closer to the road.
get closer to the road, and based on her letter that she wrote, that she would like it closest to the road is allowable. And I believe that would be the same distance from the road as my neighbor Karazinski. Because the next house going, next garage rather, going east would be Whit Sprague's. Whit's is a couple feet back from Kenny's. And that's originally what I thought I wanted. But it is important to me. If it concerns my neighbor, it concerns me.
Mhm.
And that's not just a statement, that is true. So I will honor that to have, and I forget, Kevin, when he was there, we measured it one time. He got a wheel out and he measured it, and it's either 25 or 30, and I think it's from the center of the road.
Right, 25, I think.
Yeah. But whatever it is, I'm willing to go with that. And then that moves the building that much further away from my cottage toward the road. And I'm okay with that.
So just to answer the previous question, the 6-1 is on the survey map. That's what it shows to the proposed building. So if you wanted to be 100% confident, I don't know, Mr. Hode, your openness to having the same surveyor come out and just flag the building with those numbers. So if they approved you at 3 and 5, he could just flag it before Jeff starts, just to be 100% confident that you're at 3 and 5.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the way Karazinski's garage goes up and then
Overhang.
yeah, the overhang. Kevin, is there room for a fire truck to get down Karazinski's driveway with the 5 feet? Or would they have to use Monica if they had to get to Karazinski's or Jean's?
We're gonna go the path of least resistance, so I can't really answer it, but looking at to scale, it's I mean I hate answering it because I don't know 100% without the numbers. It looks like if it's scaled correctly, it's 12 feet in between there. Is that enough room for a fire truck? I mean, they're gonna want at least 20 feet to be comfortable. But you're never gonna achieve that with the situation you're at here. So they're probably gonna go down Monica's if they got to get there. But again, path of least resistance, if they need to get somewhere, they're going. They're not gonna worry about anything.
All right.
Yeah.
If the cars are in the driveway anyways, they're not gonna be able to get to the house anyways. Our cars will be there, they're gonna be in the garage. So, and Kenny, if he puts his cars right there.
Yeah, Kenny keeps his cars outside.
Yeah, okay. Any chance you considered, and this isn't code, so it's just a question. The siding on Kenny's garage, siding on everybody's houses is always horizontal. Pole barns are always vertical. Any chance you could do horizontal siding so it looked more like a house, a garage, and less like a pole barn?
I've thought about this. This is my siding of choice. I could put a vinyl siding that simulates reverse board and batten. And that's a very desirable. And from the road or even up close, I'll bet 99% of the people in this world would not recognize the difference between that and the siding that I'm proposing. Like I say, I would never build anything that.
That's not what you were saying, was it?
Yeah, no. Kenny's garage has.
It's vertical. Yeah, he chose because he's got. It could be living area upstairs, so he decided.
But it's horizontal.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah, he decided to put plywood on the outside of his barn. And then he put vinyl siding on. Because he could have living space upstairs. This garage is never gonna be living space, it's gonna be a garage. So I don't wanna do the expensive plywood. And vinyl siding. That's why I chose this type of siding, which is very appealing. I don't know if any of you, that's why I took a picture. Apologize for the not great picture.
Yeah, but that's still not the point. Can't you take that same siding and make it horizontal?
Not make it look right.
Because that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Have it match all the other buildings, so it doesn't look like there's a pole barn in the middle of the street, and it's a garage that's been there a while. That's the question.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my question.
I could, obviously it added expense. And everybody's got a budget, and whenever they do something, and that right there is gonna budget me right out if I had to do the plywood and then, excuse me, and then vinyl siding. So I'm doing this for budget, but yet also it looks great too. It really does.
Yeah, like I said, it's not code.
Right,
It's just
right, I'm
asking
just-
questions.
yeah. Yeah, that's a very
Pole barn, and it's the same colors as you got.
Yeah.
The light gray
mayor's
and,
barn is
dark gray.
that two-tone.
yeah. With what color roof? The dark,
I think it is dark, yeah.
Yeah. and it's nice looking, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very nice.
Do you have white trim and white soffit and white overhead door or white man doors?
Yeah,
And that's pretty much what I'm looking to do.
Okay, so have we come to, you're okay with 3 and 5?
I am, and I am willing to have the, my surveyor come and, what was it called, flag?
I think so. Flag, Kevin?
Yeah, literally just flag it out. So he'll find the survey pins, and you guys give him, if you're saying 3 and 5, he'll mark it with flags so that Jeff Chernois can then shoot his string lines and then set all his poles off of that.
Okay.
Yes, I agree with that.
So do we need to turn down the original application and then do the 3 and 5? What do we need?
You have to, so I can't say yes or no to that question, but I can say that you have to vote on the first question,
Okay.
first
All right,
first.
that's right.
No, you're fine. It's all in that word.
Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion on the original application? Okay.
I'll second it.
Steve second. Anybody in
So
favor of
The original
Original
application with 2 and 5.
with
Just
two
with
and
2
five?
on the
2 and
west.
6?
Just 2 on the west.
Sorry.
Just 2.
Just 2 on the west.
Yeah, the variance is just for the 2 on the west side. We don't need to worry about the other side. So we have a motion from Mark and a second from Steve. All in favor of the original application? Anyone against the original
Yes.
application?
yes.
Okay, so the original application fails. Everyone voted against it.
I'll make a motion that we
Amend the original
amend the original one to 3
to 3
and
feet,
5 instead of what
3
it
feet
was.
on the
West.
west.
Yep.
5 feet on the east.
Just 3 on the west.
Okay, 3 on the west.
Because we
Because
don't want to
there's
say
no
anything,
variance.
we don't need to, yeah, if
Yeah.
if it's less than 5, then he
Yep.
has to come
Okay.
back.
Yeah, the second.
I'll second that.
Got everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. 3 and 5 was.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So we'll get those plans stamped, Eugene. We'll come back to planning board for final. So if Jeff has them ready, Just have them submit them this week by the Wednesday, the 28th. So this Wednesday, and I can get you on for the 4th.
You right there.
I didn't hear what you said.
Make it, she's my dictator. Okay, so Jeff's got to get that to you by the 28th. Does
Yeah, this Wednesday. Otherwise, it pushes you off until the 18th would be the meeting after that.
Okay. Alrighty. And then no need, Kevin, no need to do anything with the flagging or whatever it's you referred to it as until the planning board meeting's approval.
So the location is approved and your preliminary is approved. Now you just need to meet the conditions that the planning board originally put on, which were stamp plans. I believe they wanted the color on it and the windows removed. If it was under 3 feet, you're at 3 feet now. So you can still have the windows on that side because you moved it a foot.
Okay.
So once you meet all those conditions, it's the final approval. You can flag it now if he's got time. You can flag it whenever you'd like.
Okay, that'll be to the surveyor's schedule. And I'll get with Jeff and see if he can get those that stamped plan to you by the 28th.
Okay, perfect.
Alrighty.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Zoning board.
We've got some minutes from the last meeting. Everybody get a chance to look at them.
And I think we didn't approve the meeting before that either.
That's right, because there weren't the right people here.
I can't approve files.
Which is,
Like,
we talked about you.
I read the minutes.
yeah.
I read that.
Just
Kevin, you're still there, right?
these are the minutes from right
Yeah,
now.
I'm here. Yep.
I'm sorry, I gave you the.
I
wrong ones.
loved seeing those letters from the neighbors.
Sorry.
I've got the
Do
one.
that for everything.
Oh,
So they a couple people tried to voice in their opinions and I said I can't, I have to have it in writing.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, no problem.
It just made me feel better because now it's written down forever that the neighbors said they liked it.
Yeah.
So even in the future, 20 years from now, when they sell the property, it's right here.
Yeah. Okay, so we got minutes from 2 meetings
Last one, yeah.
that I don't have in front of me.
I approved last week's. I mean, I do approve it,
Okay, so
or 2 weeks ago.
Lynn makes a motion to approve March
Second.
2nd, last week's minutes. That's from 2/12.
Yeah.
And I can't vote on the other ones. So
Wasn't here, but the 3 of us were. And I remember those are the minutes I took.
They were
So I do
perfect.
read them.
22nd.
So
Yeah, I can't vote on I can't vote on the 12th, but I can vote on January.
That's better.
yeah, we're all
Got
good
it.
for the 12th.
22nd.
But the ones from when Linda wasn't here, can somebody make a motion to approve those?
I make a motion to approve minutes of
January.
January 22nd.
January 22nd.
I'll second that.
All right.
All in favor?
I
Good.
Kevin, I got a question for you. I was down toward the loop a couple days ago, And I saw a fence that I don't ever remember us discussing.
Which
Do you want names?
one?
Or do you want me to just email you?
You want to text it to me right now, and I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just text me, then I can try and answer it to the best of my ability. So we're not singling anyone out.
Yep.
The shoreline certainly had a lot of property transfers this past week.
Yeah, they don't, yeah.
The 3 schooners,
Yep.
Jacks, and Straubing Papa Joe's complex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was all Sodus Point. I'm like, whoa.
That was in August of 23. I have it down as planning and zoning. I don't remember. So what's funny about this, Sue, is I questioned that fence installer too because I didn't remember it, and I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't remember it either, and then I got caught up on it. But I have it down as the permit approved 8/17/2023. It says fence is approved by planning and zoning board. So
Okay.
I truly don't remember it either.
I remember the name, but I don't remember what we did.
Yeah, because it's a 6 foot high white vinyl solid fence, and I just thought, wow,
Is that the one with the step?
no.
No, I didn't remember it either. I 100% questioned it too.
Yeah. Huh.
I've got, just so everyone knows, I have 2 final inspections tomorrow, just so Scott Johnson is a final, so his shed should be leaving. If it hasn't already left, that should be gone. I'm talking to Eric.
Unless he moved it up there, it's gone.
I can't hear you.
Unless he moved it where you can't see it from the road, it's gone.
Perfect. Perfect. And then the other one is Swift down on 5th Street. Those finals are both tomorrow. Swift is actually the highest blower door test I have ever, or lowest, so technically highest standard blower door test I've ever had in the village. It's the tightest house we've ever built.
Really?
Yeah, it's very close to what's called passive house. Passive house is 0.6 air changes or better. They came back at 0.7. So they're very close to being even down to passive house.
I don't know what that means.
So now we're required to measure the air changes that happen in your house. Used to be we would just back in when I first got the job, we're under the 2010 code. It was 7 air changes. You could accomplish it, no problem. Then when the 2020s came along, there's actually the 2015s. When they came along, we had to measure the air changes down to 3. And once you're into 3 air changes, so how many times your whole house changes over, you have to have mechanical ventilation. Most people accomplish this with a bathroom fan on a timer, 3/4 of hour every hour, or you can get what's called an ERV or an HRV, which is an air handler, and they humidify, dehumidify, purify. They bring clean air in. They control everything, mechanical ventilation. Anything below 3 is excellent, saves a ton of money on energy. Down near passive, the house almost has like a suction noise when you open the door because it's pressurized so much.
Wow.
So that means the air isn't coming in and out?
Nope, it's all handled through that ERV that he has. He bought an ERV air handler. So the air handler, the mechanical ventilation will handle all of your breathing needs in the house.
I hope he's got a generator too, right?
He has a generator as well, yep.
I don't know. I kind of like opening the windows.
One person gets sick, everybody's going to get sick.
Oh, the ERB cleans it.
No.
It's cold.
It's cold. Okay, anything else? Anything else coming up, Kevin?
No, I think so it's coming in it's like waves. You get a couple and then it slows down. Right now I think we're slowing down a little bit again, and then I think it'll pick back up around the eclipse when everyone gets back to town and sees what they want to do. I think you'll get a lot of fence applications after that week. That's what's gonna happen.
So no meeting the 11th right now?
As of right now, I don't believe I have any applications for the 11th, correct?
Okay,
Okay,
thanks, Kevin.
thank you.
I'll make a motion to do end the meeting, whatever it's
Make a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn. That's it.
Have a good night, guys. I'm gonna end it for you.
I'll just hit leave.
Okay. See you guys.